Welcome back to On Right Podcast. You have Elijah here alongside Grant. Hopping to another episode here. We're a day away from the NBA draft lottery. We're both rooting for the Pistons to come through on back-to-back first overall picks here. So we're going to use the NBA Tankathon website, do a couple, mock, see how it pan out, and who we would take. So you want to give any thoughts before we hop in? I think we're going to do 3Ds.
I just want to kind of hear what you think as far as like need and, obviously everybody wants the number one overall pick, but like, what do you think, if we're to get the number one overall pick, or if we fall, to like 3 or 4, like, what would your thoughts be on like where we land? Like, who would you want?
For sure. So what you guys are seeing now is the projected picks as going into the draft. So we're sitting there at third. I personally would say this. This is what I'm looking for is Perry point blank, best available player, regardless of position, and a person that can shoot. Preferably, I think we need to stretch the floor. We can see the blueprint of how you build around a player like Cade, and that is surround them with as many consistent shooters as possible, and the rest is history. So that's personally what I'm looking for. Regardless of how far we fall or where we are, we got to take the best player that's sitting there and the best player that is a certified shooter.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, we do land at number one, and I think, who I'd prefer, probably Jabari Smith and then Paolo. Chet is kind of like up in the air about him as far as game and how it'll translate. But, yeah, I mean, I think either with Jabari or Paolo, that could be go wrong with either of them. I would say if I had to choose between the two, definitely would go Jabari just because of I think he has a little bit more versatility to his game, and he plays pretty good defense. And I think that would be a good just cornerstone, like you already said, to kind of go along with Cade. And let's start trying to go and see about looking to make a playoff run in the next couple of years.
So if you wanted me to give players, I would actually mimic the exact same two players you have. Jabari Smith. I think he definitely shot over 40% from three this year. I want to say 43%. Just a great, phenomenal player. And then Banchero, I think he has a very finished game. Freshman who led Duke to the championship game, I believe, or the Final Four. So I think he's cut from a good cloth, and I think he's going to be a very solid player as well. Those would be my top two.
Yeah, and then just to kind of, before you do a couple of simulations here, I mean, definitely want to be in the top 3, but 4 through 8, I mean, you can't really go wrong with, a lot of other guys on that board. I mean, I didn't realize that Keegan Murray was averaging 26 a game at Iowa last year. And, I'm a decent Ivy fan. I mean, I'm a big Benedict Mathurin fan. Definitely heard a little bit about, Shaedon Sharpe and, how talented he is. But I guess obviously you want to be in that top 3. But it's I've heard this draft, people think it's pretty deep. So wherever we end up, I feel like we'll be able to get us a good player going forward.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So just to hop in here with the first one, we're going to do 3 of these. First simulation, roll the dice, see how it goes.
Okay.
Yep. So this one here, we fell to 6, which I believe is the lowest possible place we can fall to.
I think so.
So this is a worst case scenario here for us as a Pistons fan. I'll give you a moment to look over it as well, just so we can kind of see where.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad, like I said, not a bad spot to fall. You obviously want Smith to Banchero, but I do just think this top 10 is at least one of the better ones I've seen in the last few years as far as just talent overall.
For sure. So obviously just looking on here, the first thing that stands out to me is the Spurs moved up 8 positions.
But,
that's nice. But looking at that, we just brought it up, but I'm a big fan of Keegan Murray's game. I would not be mad at that pick there. And I'm still your guy, Benedict Mathurin. Is a pogo stick and jump out the gym. Throughout the season, people were calling him, a Jason Richardson type player. That's what some of the comparisons I've seen. Obviously, Miles Bridges. So I think I think those two guys in this particular spot is who I would be interested in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, Jason Richardson. That's a really good comparison for Matherin. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty deep draft. So give it another spin and see what else kind of shakes out.
Come around here.
Yeah. Okay. Got Portland number 1. That would actually kind of make sense, or if that did happen before. He's from Minnesota, but went to Gonzaga.
Yep.
We have a pretty,
big falling out west.
Yeah.
No, I definitely could see him there. Try to, make Dame happy, and we'll see how that pans out. I just be straight out honest. I don't believe in the guy. Whether he turn out to be a decent NBA player, I think is probable, but I don't think he's a franchise-altering, big man. I think you're looking at like best case like Lauri Markkanen. I think.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you.
In worst case, you're sitting there looking at Darko. So I think it's not a good risk high reward. But as far as the Pistons go, that's who I would want. I would want him off the board there. Banchero, that is. Ivy is interesting. I think that would be more of a just a bet on a run and gun, and not a more of a traditional team. Like, let's say we're going to build the front court, and just so that'd be kind of more. I wouldn't be shocked if they went that way, but that definitely would be buying into more of a new school game where, because typically speaking, we have a primary ball handler. They would want to get somebody else.
Now that would be a scenario to where it's like you could just slide him in, because right now they had Corey Joseph starting next to Cade. So we, were to find a way to, Ivy kind of fell in our lap, in one of these ways. It would just kind of be like a plug and play, and then it's like, all right, we'll have Bagley, might get rid of Jeremy Grant, might keep him, and then it's one of those situations where now it's like, well, Bagley's already kind of coming off the bench, so could maybe just kind of keep everybody and just see what happens. So yeah.
And I think I don't know. I want to look it up. I don't want to misspeak, but Ivy's a sophomore, so he's one of the. Yeah, it says right there. He's a sophomore. Obviously, put up 20 a game in the Big Ten, so he can put up points. The one thing that a little scares me is he did have some, like he shot like 37% or something his freshman year in college. So that was a little kind of semi-alarming to me. But it got it up significantly amount that second year around. So maybe that was just getting used to Big Ten ball as a young guy. But that'd be one thing that's. Like I said, I think we want to stick with the shooters. So that's a little interesting to me. Anything else you want on this one? We got one more spin to go.
No, that's said once again, this wouldn't be a bad spot to land.
No.
So
not at all.
Go ahead and give another spin. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the only one where I'm like I've heard great things about Sharpe, and just didn't really, I probably just need to go and look at some highlights and, just see what he's about. I'd probably say out of the top 10, he's probably like the one. I don't really know a whole lot about AJ Griffin either, but I'd probably say like him and, I'd probably say him for sure as kind of that, maybe like that potential wild card.
Yeah.
Where he's out for a year, didn't play, but, was practicing probably, but didn't really play. And, you go from, just kind of like overseas right to the league with a year gap. But we've seen, a lot of people able to come over there, like LaMelo and a couple other players, and make pretty significant contributions early.
For sure. I guess, and remind me if I'm tripping here, but I think Chet went off the board first in all three of these mocks. So that is I guess the computers are saying he's a sure number one pick. And I just don't believe in it. So looking at if we're looking from a Pistons standpoint, I would absolutely love if the Pacers blew that first pick on him. And so this would be one of those things where we obviously want the highest pick possible, but it might be one of those things where it's a blessing in disguise if we don't even have the ability to take him.
Right.
And I wouldn't be mad. I just wouldn't be mad at it. To keep it easy for us. And that's how much I believe in him not working out. So, but looking at here. The Shaedon Sharpe, I think it's one of, like you said, it's a roll of the dice. He was a highly, highly touted player coming out of Europe, I believe England. He ended up in Kentucky of all places, but ended up in Kentucky for the Wildcats and just couldn't play. And so it's one of those interesting things where he's obviously been on the court working and putting in the work and the grind, but we haven't seen him against some of the familiar names across this board here.
Yeah.
So, and any highlights you find are going to be practice or some high school tape. So that's kind of hard to evaluate. But I do know people are very high on him. It could be one of those things that makes me wonder if you played this year, are you still that highly touted? Are you the guaranteed number one pick, or are you, are you not even in the mix of getting drafted? Is the lore of who he could be, is that making him that high in the draft? Is kind of my fear of it,
right?
Because a lot of all these other guys we got tape on. Whether it's G League tape, you see some of those guys across the board here, or throughout the NCAA. So we do. See, another thing is there are no European players that usually sneak up in here. So we'll see if that happens on draft day. So
that's a real good call because they don't. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how far the dude is that pop up. New Zealand, there you go. He'd be like third pick. Yeah, but
yeah, no, the couple of simulations here. I mean, obviously, 2 out of 3 are out of the top 3. It's not very ideal.
Yeah.
But
No, we got 2 minutes to go. Let's just give one more roll and see what happens.
Yeah.
Same. Third.
Okay.
Chet again. Yeah, no, so crazy. In production, we got first pick. So that's
yeah.
No, I just think it's we're in that good spot. I mean, the best thing we have going for us is we have already got our franchise guy, and we're looking for the icing on the cake and something to catapult us into and hopefully into the playoff picture next year, and then the year after, hopefully a run. And you see how quickly things can turn around. I mean, Luka was the third pick. The Mavs had the 3rd or 5th pick, like 4 years ago. Yep, and they're in the playoffs. Deep
finals. Yeah.
We've seen Charlotte. They've made a quick turnaround. Interesting. Fun to watch. Yeah. So you see how quickly things can happen, and I believe in Kate a lot, and I just think one of these additional guys will really catapult us. So hopefully we keep out of that sub 6 or under the 6.
Yeah, like I said, all it takes is another player and who we already kind of have and how they're developing. Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart. Got some decent guys coming off the bench. Killian, who's all more comfortable off the bench. So, yeah, like you said, you never know. I mean, NBA is a long season. We can get another guy to kind of help Kid out a little bit, and I already know he's going to make a pretty significant jump. And hopefully we can start to get a little closer into that top 8 and then, make a run in the next few years.
Yes, sir. And we got the live lottery tomorrow, and we'll be back at you Thursday with those results and the rest of round 1 or the rest of game 1s. Yep. All
right. Till next time.
I'm not sure what happened. There we go.
Stop it.
Yep.
It's probably about to just cut off anyways.
Yeah, I think we ended it beforehand.